Here we go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. If you're joining us for the first time, please do something for us. This program is not going to be streamed on YouTube just now. Technical issues. We do apologize. Let me apologize for coming in late. There was one or two technical issues that tends to develop now and then when you're doing live streaming. That can be helped. But nonetheless, our guest is waiting. We'll do a little brief introduction. If you haven't subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube, here's what you need to do. Please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. And here's one or two things that you can do. So let's go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Click the subscription button, and of course hit notification, and finally give us a thumbs up. You're watching us live on Facebook, and we will restream this again on YouTube. But thank you very much for those of you who've subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube. We are over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we are grateful for your support. We couldn't do any of this without your support. We are grateful. We thank you. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please go ahead and do so. If you look at the numbers on Facebook, we have over 55,000. You're watching us live on Facebook, and we will restream this again on Facebook. Are limiting it to 45 people. Thank you very much. That's why we need to migrate gradually onto YouTube. So please, your help is needed in building YouTube, Citizen AY YouTube platform on YouTube. Thank you very much. Today we're going to have a discussion about the movement and Yoruba Nation principally, and one of the principal actors that have been involved closely in how we've progressed thus far in the drive to go for self-determination and ultimately to arrive at Yoruba Nation as a free, independent Yoruba people. Of course, my guest is also in conjunction working with others, and in the Biafrans and Middle Belt, and he'll be giving us some more details about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure in welcoming on board Dr. OKANLOMO, and he'll give us a brief info about himself and his profession and his passion for the drive for Yoruba Nation. Let me just give that a second now. Okay, so welcome on board, Dr. OKANLOMO. Welcome on board. We welcome you on board to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please introduce yourself and give us a bit of a brief background of your brief info about yourself. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Citizen AY, for that kind introduction. I'm honored to be here on your program. The first time when we came together was many years ago, probably about 3 years ago, when you hosted Professor Akintoye and many other people all over the world at that stage. I think that was the Yoruba World Congress.
That's correct.
When we actually spoke to people who are involved in, who are interested in our liberation struggle all over the world. So that we're able to have our own nation, our sky blue, ethereal Oduduwa nation, a nation of prosperity. Going back to myself, my background, I'm from Abeokuta. I'm from Abeokuta, and although you say Abeokuta in Ogun State, I don't believe in Ogun State because I don't believe in division of our people. I strongly believe in the unity of our people. Fantastic. Yes, Yoruba, we are from, we have different different tribes within the Yoruba itself. Yes. The Yoruba, the Hebrew, and many more. Indeed. I don't see us as a tribe. I see Yoruba as a nation. Yeah. We're talking about Egba is a tribe within that nation. So indeed, we are Commonwealth of the nation. I school in Abeokuta. I had my high school in Abeokuta and primary school around Abeokuta. And of course, when I finished my high school, of course, I went to University of Lagos, College of Medicine, University of Lagos. where I graduated in 1994. I mean, no, sorry, in 1990, that's when I graduated. I worked briefly as a medical officer in Nigeria, after which I came to South Africa in 1994. And since 1995, I've been in South Africa. And we've done so much here. We've made we've done very well in South Africa. We've established ourselves. It's like we've come to Rome, we've seen, and we have conquered here because we've really established ourselves. We have a very big community here, very, very primary community, and a lot of top-class professionals who can raise their shoulder high anywhere in the world, which you can boast of as a good citizen of Yoruba Nation.
Indeed.
When I came to South Africa here, I worked briefly as a medical officer. After that, I went to specialize. So I specialized in obstetric and gynecology, which I completed in year 2000. I completed my training as a gynecologist in year 2000 at University of Natal. And after I became a specialist, a fellow of the College of Medicine of South Africa. I became a lecturer in University of Southern Africa. I was a lecturer and I became a senior lecturer. And I was there for almost about 13 years. Yes, while I was a part-time lecturer there, of course, I was in private practice, doing what I know how to do best, and that is looking after a mother, keeping mothers safe, and that's what I know how to do best, to keep mothers alive. We know the importance of a mother in a family unit. Without a mother in a family unit, that family unit is broken down completely. I remember my joke, which I always crack with our young doctors or our medical students. I always ask them, do you want to make the mother beautiful or to save a mother? Those who make mother beautiful, they are plastic surgeon. As a gynecologist, we save mother. That is our job. That's what we know how to do best. I'm continuing to be in private practice in South Africa here. Specifically, I'm based in Johannesburg. Actually, talking from the headquarters of Yoruba One Voice. That's where I am right now, because I finished my work a little bit earlier. Except they call me for emergency during this program. Otherwise, I'm here for this program for most part of the today. I continue to work in provincial hospital and training the young doctors, teach them the art of gynecology, how to operate, how to save the mother. That's what I'm doing currently now. Although I'm based in South Africa, I'm also a resident of Canada. My wife and my daughter, my wife is in Toronto. My daughter is in Providence, United States of America, in Brown University. She also doing pre-medicine. That's the only child I have. So that is my background. Although I'm still here in South Africa, my long-term objective and plan is to go and reunite with my wife in Canada, because I'm a citizen there. I can leave South Africa anytime
you want.
Africa is home. I'm proud to be in Africa. And of course, for me, what is more important at the end of the day is to make sure we actualize our nation, our sky blue exterior nation, Yoruba Nation. That is our hope and our aspiration. Indeed. Thank you, citizen.
No problem. Could you do me one favor, actually? Yes, I just realized I completely forgot. Could you tilt your camera? I wonder, is it possible to tilt it to the side? Because it looks like it tilted the other way. Because it looks like the camera, the view is a bit very narrow. So is it maybe it's possible to adjust it at all?
I'm not sure why it is narrow, because that's what I'm experiencing right here. Except I turn it the other way around.
That's it. That's better. Now, much better. Because to be honest, I was so focused on trying to get everything running because of the technical issues that I didn't focus on. That's one of the things. So that's good. That's much better. Now we've thank you very much for that brilliant summarizing of your great achievements and your family life and your daughter and everything about yourself, and it's in many respects it touches on and speaks to what many of us has experienced, and we want to I would personally want to congratulate you on the success, because you are a success in South Africa. The fact that you live where you should really be a doctor. Your assets, you are an asset to that contraption we call Nigeria. And the asset is willingly let you go to another country and provide medical help, childbearing and all of that with the moms and all of that to another country. Clearly, you've been an asset to us, and had it been that they provided the foundation and the infrastructure for you there, you probably wouldn't live. You would probably be in Nigeria. So I want to congratulate you on all of your successes, on what you're doing in Africa, in South Africa there, and saving lives and making the mother bear the child rather than sort of beautiful, which is your focus, which is how it should be, and the many things that you're doing in that area. And we hope, unfortunately, an interesting fact, back in 2020, I believe, or 2019 or 2020, apparently 9,000 doctors, if I'm correct, left Nigeria because of the lack of infrastructure, the lack of planning, the lack of those kind of things. I wonder, just to speak about that for a moment, because I wasn't, I suddenly just dawned on me. How do you feel that the same thing you did in 1994 to leave Nigeria is what people are still doing, doctors are doing, and nurses increasingly, to leave Nigeria? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, look, anybody will feel very bad, because to answer that question, you need to look at our background, where we come from, where we get to where we are today. And for us to be able to do that, if you look at the back, my back here, you see the picture of Papa.
Fantastic, yes.
Yes, Papa is right there, and our head office is right here. Yeah, you see, this is our progenitor. You remember Papa was only in government for, I don't think it's more than 6 years, between 1954 to about 1959.
Exactly.
But you have to look at that period. It was an El Dorado period.
Indeed.
Look at what Papa and his colleague, his cohort, what they achieved during that period. That is what actually created the opportunity, the platform for many of us to be able to get to where we are today. When I talk to people, people are amazed about my story. I'm a guy, my father died when I was at a very early stage. Wow. I don't have a mother who's a top-class professional. But because we have our progenitor who laid a strong foundation for us to be able to go to school, to attain any level we want to be able to attain our potential. That is why we're able to be doctors, engineers, and quantity surveyor, astrophysicists, anything you can imagine in this world. Wow. The other day, somebody called me to Steve Biko Academic Hospital. There's one of our Nigerian guys there who came to do nuclear medicine here. He called me, he's around, he needs some help. I went there, I spoke to him, tried to advise him. Now, to go back to our question, see, it's actually disheartening. Why I say with reference to Papa is that those who train us, those who gave us free education, they never anticipate there will be a day that will be scattered all over the world. The reason why they were trained was because they need us, they need our manpower, our brain power to develop our land. That is the reason why we are trained for. They didn't train us to go and help them in Canada. They didn't train us to be a doctor in South Africa to help the people in South Africa. We were trained to develop our land. But unfortunately, because of the problem at home, because of the military intervention, because of the fact that the abrogation of the autonomous constitution of 1960, which was negotiated by our forefathers, the military junta, they upgraded our constitution. And that's why we get to where we are today. And because if at that time, when the military took over in 1966, if what they did was that to do a constitutional conference, to the extent that they asked us, what is the pitfall of this particular constitution? They will have realized that the major problem with that 1960-1963 constitution is that too much power was in the center, and that power center was the one that destabilized Western region. All they're supposed to have done that is to do what is called devolution of the power to keep our region. Yes, but what happened is that because of that, the consequence of that is what you see many years ago when quite a large number of doctors, apart from during our time, because remember, in 1994, there were double migration from Nigeria. The junior doctors were coming to SA, South Africa. The senior doctors were going to SA, Saudi Arabia.
Jeez.
It was a migration to SA in 1994.
Wow.
But now, another wave of migration right now. And unfortunately, this is not going to stop in the foreseeable future unless if you have our own nation, our Yoruba Nation, where we can attract all our top-class professionals all over the world. In fact, if you see what we are doing right now in South Africa, we started about 4 or 5 years ago. What we are actually doing is that we created Odudua Head Professional Academy. In that academy, the people who are in the academy in South Africa here, we have a top-class surgeon, neurosurgeon, cardiothoracic surgeon, you have cardiologists, any form of top-class medical professionals are in that academy. And the purpose of that academy is very clear, because we look at the level of healthcare delivery system in our land. We are not interested in what is happening in Nigeria. We created the academy only for Yoruba people and only for the benefit of our people. What is the rationale behind? The rationale is very simple. We want to bridge the knowledge gap between the diaspora and at home. Wow. Because we have a top-class cardiothoracic surgeon, we have a top-class neurosurgeon. We want to create an interface where we can interact to transfer our skill, which we have acquired over the years, to the next generation before we die, so that Odudua land will develop. And having done that in South Africa here, we have encouraged our brothers in Australia, our brothers in Canada. Although I'm going to go to Canada next month, many of my colleagues are there. I'm going to meet up with them to present to them what we are actually doing in South Africa. Fantastic. I remember about 3 or 4 months ago, I spoke to Baba Kitoyi. That time I said, Papa, somebody told me there's a problem. Do you need any top-class doctor? So I can speak to any of them. They will call you. So that is what it's all about, Citizen AY. And of course, what we are trying to do again is that if you look at most of our academic institutions, I trained in College of Medicine of University of Lagos. You cannot compare the quality of training at that time with now. So what we are trying to do is that we'll get one of our guys, for argument's sake, they can say, oh, Dr OKANLOMO, it's your turn to go to Nigeria. When I get there, what I'll do is that I'll take the medical student, I will teach the registrar, I'll show them about pre-operative preparation of the patient. On the day of surgery, we go to theater, you teach them how to operate, and after that, you teach them post-operative care. And another 2 days, I'll go and reunite myself with my family and see my family. So that's what we are planning, giving 1 week to Odudua Republic by the doctor of Odudua Head Professional Academy. So it's sad, very, very sad indeed that our people are leaving our land where we're supposed to use those resources for the benefit of our people. And we all know health is wealth. If your doctor moves away, what is going to happen to our people at home? It's actually painful, very, very disheartening. Thank you, Citizen A1.
Thank you so much. Listen, again, it's like you're the gift that keeps giving. Because I asked us that question, and I wasn't, the answer you gave more than answered it, but I want to actually, again, congratulate you in the vision that you're showing. The vision of imparting your knowledge. This is the kind of forward thinking. This is why we are convinced in going for Yoruba Nation. We are absolutely resolute. Myself and yourself and many others who are outside, because the vision to see the future generation and teach them how this can be done, and even though they're outside, with the vision is still to get them back home. So I want to thank you personally for that. Now the sad bit of it for me is when you started talking about the same thing, this SASA, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and the same thing is happening now. When you said that, I was crying inside. I was crying inside, because that is, it shows that we are going backwards. It shows we are going backwards. And that's why this movement for Odudua Nation, Biafra, if that is what they want, and Biafra, and of course Middle Belt, is so essential. So I thank you so much, and please do not relent. We are proud of what you are achieving, and you are essential. And also, the gesture that you made to Professor Banji Akintoye in terms of health, and that is something that we also think is brilliant, a very, very good initiative. And I'm hoping that many other doctors can see your example. And in fact, I urge many of all our professionals in the health sector to join together and begin to work out a plan, because we will achieve Yoruba Nation. We're going to get Odudua Nation. We will get it. And when we get it, we want to have had a plan in place, such as you already have now, that we can roll out within a short space of time to start transforming the lives of our people. So I am most encouraged by what you're saying. In fact, it fills me with hope. The vision that you bring to this movement is immense, and I want to thank you for that. Now,
Citizen AY,
yes.
Before we go ahead, the other thing I want to say is that apart from what we are doing in the Oduduwa Health Profession Academy, in fact, where we actually want to be is to create a science at the academy, STEM. And we want to create STEM academy, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Fantastic.
Because remember, STEM is the basis of development of any economy.
Indeed.
That's what we want to start now.
Indeed.
To mobilize our engineer, to mobilize our mathematician,
yes,
to technology. So those are the things we want to do. So that the engineer, they form a group. All our engineers all over the world, all our mathematicians all over the world, so that everybody come to the academy. All our scientists. So that's what we want to do. And even before we get there, we thought we want to create a virtual university for our people in Oduduwa land.
Wow.
A virtual university, because I can sit down in South Africa here, giving lecture to the medical student in Akure.
No.
I can sit down here giving lecture to students in Igora. So that's the level we want to get to. And of course, because of the capacity we have developed over the year, I can get a medical student to come from Oduduwa land, to come to here, to come to South Africa, to come and do rotation, so that we show the fellow clinical skill, demonstration, exposure to patient. So that's the level we want to get to. We are actually interested in STEM academy, of course. Our forte is the medical, and that's why we started the Yoruba Health Profession Academy, so that we use that as a guinea pig, a testing ground for everything we want to do. Thank you, Citizen Ewa.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I've hit the jackpot right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen Ewa, the platform where we speak truth to power. You will only get this kind of information and in-depth analysis on Citizen Ewa, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we do here is to give you the knowledge, the truth, the ability to be able to make decisions yourself with the key information, such as you just had my brother here, Dr. Okalomo, my elder brother, my Baba. Honestly, I am just so moved by what you're saying here. And these are the kind of things that we need all our professionals. The thing you said about STEM now is amazing. And again, the virtual universities that you just mentioned, I mean, that is just blowing my mind. So we can actually begin to prepare our people. These are the kind of visionary thinking that we want. Practical stuff that will impact people on the ground. Once again, I thank you very much for that initiative. Now, going on into the struggle, when did you first really get like, okay, I am going to get involved in this? When did that really, really hit you in the gut and go, right, that's it? When? If you don't mind telling us.
Yes, I couldn't hear you from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
You know what to say.
So when did you first get the feeling that, right, that's it, I'm committed to this struggle, and I'm going to actually take positive steps to take to get involved in actually bringing about Oduduwa Nation? When did you first get that feeling?
Well, the feeling started actually 1994.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. Wow. Yes, you see, because what really happened was that when I finished from medical school, I was working as a medical officer. We were staying in Lagos. It was after 1993 election.
Okay.
That's why I started asking myself a hard question then. And you remember, I can't remember, maybe it was in October or September 1994. Probably that's when General Sani Abacha announced Constitutional Conference. Like that time in Nigeria. And that's how we decided that no, we cannot stay in this country anymore at that stage. So when we were...
Network issues, he'll be back shortly. Bear with us, please. It's network issues, he'll be back. If he does break, we will come back online. Very interesting topic here. I'm hoping that he come back. It's a network issue here. I'm speaking all the way from South Africa. Okay, go ahead. Are you back?
Yes.
You're back. Okay, go
right,
ahead.
right.
So, go ahead.
So now, after we came to South Africa then, you became homesick. Because you are in UK. Because for the first time in my life, I don't have people, although very few of my friends were not staying together. I was forced to speak English all the time. I lost that joy of going to urban
network. He'll be back. Oh, so interesting. I do apologize, gentlemen. It's the network is from South Africa to here, so there can be some time lag and delay. He'll be back again. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
So that simple life that we live in Lagos, in anywhere in Yoruba land, until you miss it, you don't realize how important it is. Wow. How fulfilling it is that when I wake up in the morning, Timbafe Soro, my best citizen AY saw a day my mother language.
Yes.
That I don't have to speak English. We are speaking English right now. Then for me, that is priceless.
It is.
Now, what broke the camel back was when Moshood Kashima Abiola was killed. That's what broke the camel back. And at that point in time, I remember my professor, when I did my research for my fellowship.
Oh, network. I'm so sorry. This is so interesting. Just hang with us. He'll be back. It's a network. He's all the way from South Africa. So please do bear with us. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Yeah, so it's a network issue. So go ahead.
Yes, I dedicated it to him. Okay. That my research for my fellowship.
Okay,
my
to
prof,
MKO.
Know the kind of person, yes, to MKO. My prof, you know how the kind of person I am. Yes. That I'm a very critical person. I can be very, very cynical. He said, "Oh, Doctor, this man must be a great man." I said, "Yes, I see him a great man not because he's a rich man or he was a rich man or he has a lot of popularity. He's dedicated to him because of only one thing, and that's the attribute I respect in anybody. And for me, if you don't have that attribute, I don't have respect for you. And what is the attribute? Is humility.
Yes, humility. Yes.
Bashorenki Abiola, Ariel Kakanfu was the most humble man. There's no doubt about that. I remember what Alawa Kabasharu said. Yes. Alawa Kabasharu actually said, he said it was a day he was in his house. And they told him Moshood is at his gate. He was wondering, what could Moshood be doing here? He said when he came to his house, Moshood prostrated right in his front. Wow. He said he couldn't believe it. So this is the kind of human being we are talking about. And that's the reason why I dedicate my research to him for my fellowship. Not even to my father or to my dad. Because one thing is that I believe in one thing. When we are humble, we are interacting, we talk to one another, we listen to one another, we can achieve so much. But when we become arrogant, at the end of the day, they say pride goes before a fall. Exactly. We must learn to be humble. So what happened to Moshood?
Oh, network. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's a network issue, but just hang with us. It'll be back. It's all the way from South Africa, so it can happen. But he'll be back with us. I hope you're enjoying the show. Please do share.
The future.
Yeah.
Yes. Our future in Nigeria and the future of our children. For me, that was a turning point. Until Baba Kintoye started the journey. That's why all of us now woke up. We were in political coma, but Papa woke everybody up at that stage. So that's why everything actually started more. Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, you remember this liberation struggle. It's never our idea.
No.
It's the idea of our progenitor.
Yes.
Our forebearer.
Yes.
Of course, you remember Bola Ige.
Yes.
Papa Bola Ige spoke about it. Say by 2000 we will have our nation.
Yes.
We are not the one who came with the idea.
No.
Our forefathers started.
They already knew.
One reason or the other, we were in political coma, but thank God we woke up now. Yes. Our ancestors, everybody woke us up. And until we have that nation, we are never going to stop. Thank you, citizens.
Wow. I honestly, I am just like, I'm really grateful for your detailed answer. It really, and you know what I'm most impressed about, and I'm really, is when you talked about writing your report based on MKO and in his name. You know, that shows, you know, the level of humility and the willingness to give to our nation, you know, at that time. Okay, we now know that nation is not to be, and it is for us to go for Yoruba Nation. And we are so glad that you are on this journey with us. Now, there has been, I might go into one or two slightly difficult issues now. You know, after the Yoruba World Congress, and things really started moving along and kicking along, and, you know, sort of, a lot of stuff started happening with Yoruba Nation, Oduduwa Nation, you know, and we really started building that, and the momentum was going. Then we had various groups come up. We had the Yoruba World Congress, then became Ilana Modua, then Yoruba One Voice, and then we had the Global Directorate. We had, you know, all of this stuff. So tell us, I know in the middle of all of that, not shortly after the Yoruba World Congress, you joined Yoruba One Voice.
Yes.
Tell us about that and how's that going? And in relation to this struggle, how do you think things can go forward from there? Just give us a rough idea. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Citizen AY. When it comes to this liberation struggle, my philosophy has always been that if we speak together, if we see each other as a brother, we are going to go places. There's so much we can achieve. Now, my model is always Jewish model. I love Jewish. I'm not a Christian, and I don't do Islamic religion. But what happened, the only thing I like about them is that they believe in their people, and they work together for common goal. And they've never lost sight of their objective, no matter how much you criticize them. And one thing about Jewish is that they talk about God, but they don't mind killing 1 million people to save their people. It's about self-preservation. I'm not suggesting anybody should kill anybody. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm saying is that they can make any sacrifice for their people, and only their people only. And that's what I believe, that resources of our people, the resources of our land must be for people of Yoruba Nation, not for anybody else. But when we have what is left, we can give to others. I'm going to give one example. If you watch Natural Geographic Channel, when a lion made a kill, if hyena comes there, they are going to eat the hyena. They will never share with hyena. We must learn that from ordinary animals who won't believe in the principle of self-preservation. So that should be our principle. Now, let's go back to the question a little bit. In 2018, I got evidence for that. I started One Voice in South Africa in 2018. Now, yes, there's evidence for that. I can show you the screenshot of the WhatsApp group which I created. I call it Odudua One Voice. I started that One Voice in South Africa. What is the reason for that One Voice? There are so many Yoruba organizations in South Africa at that time. Now, because there's so many different organizations, we couldn't help our people much here in this country, in South Africa. There was xenophobic attack, all sorts of things happening. So sometimes at that time, in 2017, and now there's one guy who was killed in Northern Province in South Africa, a Yoruba mechanic. If I remember his name correctly, it's Lawal. That's why I start mobilizing people in this country. I say, guys, what are we doing for our people? Our people are being killed on regular basis based on the fact that we are not from here. And they are just here to make their economic migrant. Now, this fellow has just been killed. What is going to happen to his immediate family, his children, his wife, and of course, the family he left in Nigeria? How are they going to take the news? What is going to happen to his children? They have to go back to Nigeria. And obviously, the education system in South Africa is much superior. So that is when I created the first WhatsApp group, which I created at that stage. We call it Omo Odudua. The group is called Omo Odudua. That Omo Odudua is the one that gave back to Odudua Head Professional Academy. Okay. That Omo Odudua group is the one that gave back to Odudua One Voice. And the reason for One Voice was that because of this unity within our community, because we have xenophobic attack here, that's why I say, okay, I look at all the big organizations, all the Yoruba organizations. I spoke to their leader. I said, guys, can we get representatives to come on Yoruba One Voice platform so that all of us will be doing. We are not suggesting that people must not have their own organization, but we have a common ground where all of us will be meeting. We are going to be discussing the issue affecting our community. The beauty of that group, what that group achieved, was actually, achievement was more remarkable during this xenophobic attack. You remember, South African government was not giving any of our people any relief fund. That group was able to raise almost $500,000 rand and distribute food to only Yoruba in South Africa.
Wow.
That is what we did at that stage. Now, that's how Yoruba One Voice started. Now, when Papa Akintoye,
Professor Akintoye,
Yeah, Professor Akintoye.
Yes.
You remember you set up the Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Everybody were invited all over the world. There were hosts on that particular day, which I still remember. Papa addressed everybody.
Indeed.
So after the meeting, we started mobilizing ourselves in South Africa about this, our liberation struggle. Of course, not that I'm boasting.
No.
I'm always at the center of everything. Like somebody said, he said, wherever it's happening, things are successful, you're always there. You like to mobilize our community. I said, yes, I'm not a politician. I don't have a plan to hold a political office in the future. I'm too happy to be a member of the group who is going to be able to liberate our land. So that at the end of the day, if they ask me, when I'm dying, they ask me, what did you do for your land? I will say, I'm one of those people who actually contribute to the liberation of our land. That's all I'm interested in. And of course, when Chief Gani Adam came to South Africa, initially, what I was, before even Yoruba One Corridor was formed, because I was bitter about what is actually happening. Now, because it was a generalismo of Yoruba land, now I'll start investigating. I went on Facebook, I saw OPC Gani Adams. Until when I started investigating, somebody said, oh, this guy comes to South Africa. And when we are talking on platform, one of the guys said, it's his friend. So when he came to South Africa, people came together. We invited him because he was just being installed as the Are Nokakanfo. He was hosted. And in fact, when he was coming to South Africa, of course, we hosted him in my place before he went to hotel. He was with us for almost about 24 hours. Wow. And after that, we hosted him again. And that's why I started telling him my vision of Odua people. Yes, I think this was around, if I still remember, it was around 2017 at that stage. Wow. So now, when he had a Zoom, an interview, when he was talking to Yoruba Nation, on the interview he had, I don't know whether it's with you or Heritage.
I think it was with Heritage. It was with Heritage.
Yes, Heritage. And that's why the idea, he now brought up the idea again of one voice, which we are doing in South Africa already. But instead of the Yoruba one voice, they call it Yoruba one voice. So when that one voice is formed, that's why I was made the Secretary General, because of my belief, because of my conviction, and because of what I've said to him, where I think we should be as Yoruba people. So that's in a nutshell how I got involved with Yoruba One Voice. So, and again, if you ask me where we are and where we are going, but whether we like it or not, we know that all of us have made a lot of contribution to this struggle. Not in any small way. Where I'm talking right now, yes, my office is here. The biggest part of the office here is the headquarters of Yoruba One Voice worldwide. And that's where I am. Wow. And that's why you see Papa Awo picture at the back. Yes. And now we have our gallery there where we display the shirt of Yoruba Nation. It's right here. All lot of things we display here. People come here to come and buy those
merchandise.
Things. Yeah, merchandise. It's right here. So now as far as the liberation struggle is concerned, look, even before we thank anybody, the people to thank are people like you. Because no matter what we do, Citizen AY, no matter what we do, if it's not in public domain, people don't know what we are doing, there's no way we can go anywhere. And we know that when it comes to liberation struggle, you pass through so many phases. You have this stage of awareness. You guys are at the forefront of that. You've done extremely well. In fact, when they are writing the history of our liberation struggle, you guys' name will be written in gold. There's no doubt about that. And of course, you guys have done wonderfully well. And of course, on that stage, we are in stage of mobilization. I think that's where we are right now. You see, to mobilize our people, because we've left the stage of awareness, but the awareness concern is still continue. But we are in state of mobilization now. As for us to actually strategize, where are we going to go? In what direction we are going to go? Yes, we have different kind of organization. We have Ilana, which our father is the one who set Ilana up. Yes. Of course, he's the father of our struggle. There's no question about that. Yeah. And of course, Chief Sunday Goho, the enormous sacrifice which he made. For me, any day when I wake up, when I applaud him, I give him a thunderous applause. Yes. Because there's no question about it. No question about the sacrifice which Chief Sunday Goho have made. People are in his house, they destroy his house, he's incarcerated in the Republic of Benin.
Yes.
Yes, but for me, we try our best, but I thought we could have done much more, only if we are united. But the beauty of us, many organizations is this. For argument's sake, let's say one of our leaders of one of the movement or one of the organizations get to a state whereby he's working with, we don't even know he's working with the government. He's now sabotaging the movement. Now, if all of us are behind such leader, our liberation struggle will collapse. But when we have different groups, when one leader sabotages our movement, another leader cannot be sabotaged. And with that, this liberation struggle, we see the daylight. We are not going to collapse as we go along. But no question about it. What I think we need to be doing is that we need a platform whereby we need to lower our ego. We need to ask ourselves, what actually brings us together? What is our denomination here? What brings us together? Our issue here is the Yoruba land. Those who want to be a leader, those who want to be president of the Yoruba Republic, they should just wait right now. They should wait. People like me, I have no interest. You can quote me what I'm saying. I don't intend to run for a political office. I'm too happy to be Dr OKANLOMO, a man from Egba and Owu family. All I'm interested in is that to say that I'm with Citizen AY during this liberation struggle. I'm with Professor Akinbanji. I'm with Sunday Igboho. And of course, everybody involved with this struggle, I'm with them. For me, that's what I'm happy about. But more importantly, we still need that platform where different organizations will be coming, will be meeting, where will be our strategies can be implemented. And I think that's for me, that's the work we should be doing. That's the conversation we should be having. Even if we don't like each other, let's learn to work together. Remember the saying, when two brothers fight death, the foreigner inherits the land. Don't let our land be inherited by the Fulani. We should not allow that to happen. Thank you, citizen.
Wow. You answered that question brilliantly. And I like the way you laid the foundation for what we now know as Yoruba One Voice. And you've actually, in a way, answered a lot of our concerns that we have and many of us still hold. And you've perhaps provided a vision of a way into the future for us here. That's something that we should really take on. I wonder, in terms of, I'm going to just move slightly to the side a little bit from a different angle now. We're looking in terms of going to the next phase of this thing, which is mobilization is part of it. But on top of, as long as with that mobilization, there is an issue now where our people are being attacked in their villages, in their homes, in their towns. And it's and these Fulani terrorists are in our forest. What should be the message we are sending to them? How can we get them to take action to defend themselves? What suggestion would you have in looking at how to deal with that as an ongoing concern? Because that is increasingly evident that people are being targeted, are being killed. How would you, what do you propose that we do? Thank you.
Yeah, so you see, this problem can never be solved overnight. There's no question about that. What has happened is that we Yoruba people, we are very resilient. We are very, very tolerant. Because of our level of tolerance, people seem to underrate who we are as people. Remember, if you go back to Oshogo War, the Fulanis, they came to Oshogo, they want to decimate Oshogo, they took over Oshogo. In fact, they want to decimate the whole of Yoruba land. And we remember the role Bashorun or Derilo played in that particular war. The Derilo from Ibadan people, of course, they move en masse, they organize their soldiers to Oshogo, and they strategize in the middle of the night, because our great-grandfather, they are warrior. That warrior, that gene, which we inherited from there, that gene is we have to wake up in our people. We have to wake up that gene in our people. Remember what Sheikh Maktoum of Dubai said. He said, my grandfather rode a camel. My father rode a Mercedes. I'm driving Range Rover. I have a jet. My children are going to ride Range Rover. But my great-great-grandchildren, they are going to ride camel. Difficult time. They ask him, what is the reason for this? He said, difficult time produce great people. And easy time produce weaker generation. We are facing difficult time now. We are going to be producing great people, warrior within our community. Because challenges, that's what brings out best in us. We have been challenged by the Fulanis. There's no question about that. And our children, they are not so small. Those who are 15 years old, 20, 30 years old, they can see what is happening. And whether we like it or not, it's a human being. That's how human beings are. It's just like as a doctor. When somebody, as a doctor, as a physician generally, we know the principle, how people get infected and all those sort of things. When you get infected with the virus, you develop immunity to combat that virus. So we are also like that. In our land, that's what is going to happen. Now, Fulanis have virus within our land.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. We are going to produce a strategy to fight with this. Yes. So now, my own suggestion, which I always think about, is that, which I always say to people, in my address, which I had on June 12th last year, because for almost, I can't even remember, more than maybe 10 or 15 years, everybody always converged in my house in Irene, in Pretoria, around Johannesburg here. We always mark June 12th. I'll make my speech.
Wow.
So now, I said to people, whether we like it or not, we need to go back to that time of Bashorun Odori-Ilo, our great-great-great-great-grandfather. Our great-great-grandfather, they are never weak people. They are not. Unfortunately, good time has produced weak generation within our people. That's why we find ourselves where we are. That's why we remain in political coma for the past 60 years. That is why we allow the injustice of 1966 to continue, where our regional autonomy that was freely given to us, not freely given to us, our forefathers negotiated for it.
They did, yes.
Which was given to us, we allow the Fulanis, the northern oligarchy, to take it away from us, whereby they impose military unitary constitution of force. They concentrated the power in the center. But it is here why, if you ask me, if I have the resources, like my idol, like M.K. Abiola, I'm going to provide all Yoruba people with all households must have AK-47. Violence begets violence. If we have AK-47, all households has one. Fulani will be afraid of us. We must prepare to fight. If we don't fight for our land, they will take the land away from us. And I'm telling you, we are going to remain in diaspora. We don't want to be like a Palestinian people. We don't want to be landless. Everything is about land. You remember what Dr. Jacob Zuma said in South Africa? Everything is about land. If it's not about land, with technology, have you seen anybody who built a city in the sky? No city has been built in the sky. So that land we are talking about, whether anybody has said or not, our forefathers fought down for that land. That's why we still can make reference to that land today. If they never fought for that land in 1840, before even 1840, the Fulani have taken that land from us, and of course, they were burying their Quran in the ocean, which was a plan. I'm not that I'm against the Muslim or anybody.
No.
You remember, my family are Muslim, but what I believe more is Oduduwa land. I believe in our tradition. That's all I'm interested in. And that's where I stand right now. So that is the situation. Yeah.
Wow. I am, that is what I've been similar. Honestly, we are thinking quite along similar lines. But the history that you even bring, about the Oba, please, what's the name of that Oba?
Oderilo.
Bashorun Oderilo. That history is something we need to teach to our kids. We need to. I'm even envisaging somebody drawing a cartoon about him and putting that out so that our kids can see him go to war, to battle against those people who are against us now. We need, please, I'm asking, we are looking for illustrators who can draw things like this. Bashorun Oderilo. I'm going to put that name down, and I'm going to do some research about that name. And thank you so much for this vast knowledge that you are giving to us now. Many people are watching. A lot of people are applauding what you're doing on Citizen AY, and I'm so thankful that you are able to. Again, you are giving depth, vision, hope, opportunities. You are showing us what we possess within us, what our ancestors left for us, that is in us. It's in our genes. We can achieve this, and we shouldn't have a doubt about us becoming Oduduwa Nation. We should have no doubt about it. We are warriors, like you said. These are things that we need to impart on our youth, because our youth believe it's music or this is that. No, we are Oduduwa people first and foremost, and we are warriors. And I want to thank you so much for this. Honestly, you are, like I say, you are sage. You are emulating Pa Awolowo in your vision, in how you say things, and even Professor Banji Akintoye. And these are what we need. We need people to provide solutions to problems that we face and how to show the people the way. And I'm hoping that many people would have learned quite a lot from this now. In the final, before we wrap up now, because I want to thank you, and please, we'd like you to come back. That's the first thing I want to say to you. You have to come back, because we need to we will need to go and look at certain things on health. We would like to do a program specifically on health, and there are things that I want us to show people, and perhaps, and then I've got some ideas that I will discuss with you, and then we'll then actualize it if you would allow. But in closing, how do you see? I mean, I think you've answered some of the questions in terms of the organizations. If I recall, one of the things you said that it's good to have many different organizations, because if they take one out, the other one will step in. Very good. But the question now is, I know we are individuals and we are great people and everything else, but into engendering that unity to get us closer to Oduduwa Nation, what would you propose in that area?
Yeah, sorry, citizen. I was cut off because of the poor connection here.
Okay.
Please, can you please reframe that question again?
Okay.
Please,
Thank you. Now, the question is this. I know you've touched on the fact that it's good to have many organizations, particularly if the government were to take one out, the others could step in. From that point of view, yes. Brilliant. Now, the problem we seem to be having now is that many organizations, and I think you touched on it. I want to be president. I want to be known as. I want to be, So we should put that back. I think that probably partly answers the question. But in the meantime, we need to have. How would you say that those organizations, as it stands now, to be able to focus on the main goal? How can we do that? What suggestions would you have for us on that?
Yeah. Thank you, Citizen AY. Because of that problem which you have actually highlighted, that's what got me thinking. That was about 2 months ago, trying to look for what is the solution going forward. And what I did was that I look at the solution. I look at the rest of the world over and above Oduduwa Nation. And I'll look at our home to see what has happened there and what people are able to do successfully. Let me use one example. My example is that of Afghanistan. Historically, nobody has been able to conquer Afghanistan and dominate them successfully. The British were there, they ran away. The Russians were there, they ran away. America wasted their lifetime there, eventually they ran away. But there's one thing about Taliban which we need to learn. It's about lessons. It's just like, let me use one parallel. When you tell people about the marriage, they don't understand how marriage came into being. The reason why people start getting married is because of observation humans have on about monkey. Now, from an anthropologist's point of view, they found that a monkey, which has a partner, the children survive more than the one that without a partner. Because the one without a partner, while he's looking for food, the other animal in jungle will have killed the children. But the one that has partner will protect the children, somebody providing for that child. Yes. So now, what I'm saying in essence is this, Citizen AY, is that now, if we look at the rest of the world, Afghanistan for argument's sake, what the Taliban did well was this. If you ask the Taliban, when you read the newspaper, who's the real leader? They are all leaders. They call collegial leadership. It's a collegial leadership. And the people who came together during the NSAS, they demonstrate the same thing.
Indeed.
Even you're in the media.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed, I remember
Who's the leader? Yes. If somebody come and say, oh, who's the leader here? They'll tell you, what do you want? We are all leaders here. We ask. So we need to look at that kind of model. But what we did, actually, which we started about 3 months ago, is that we tried to mobilize people all over the world. And I said to them, yes, I'm mobilizing people. I'm not the leader here. So when we have meeting, it's going to be a rotational meeting. For argument's sake, let's say you guys are in UK today. Now, you guys in UK, you're going to host us with the meeting. When we host the meeting, you guys are going to chair the meeting. If there's going to be a press release, you are going to be the one who signed the press release. And the next meeting is now your responsibility to mobilize everybody else all over the world and hand over to the people in Canada, or hand over to the people in Ireland, or hand over to the people in Germany. If we do it that way, there will not be sense of domination. But this idea of having this figure somewhere where everybody has to bow down onto, where you have to treat everybody like a subject who doesn't listen to anybody, who have only one idea, Owe Yorubani, Agbajo, one of his soya. One, two head is better than one. One leader is only one head. When me and you, when myself and Sister AY come together, we bring everybody together. Now, just imagine the multiplicity of the opinion, the number of opinions that comes together at a point in time. Unlike just follow one person. But if we say we have that collegial leadership, Sister AY can be our leader for, it depends on what we are doing. Oh, Dr OKANLOMO can be the leader. Papa Akintoye can be, anybody can be. But the idea that this person is the leader and everybody wants to be a leader, at the end of the day, we are not going to get anywhere. We need to look at the collegial. We need to, the way to run this movement is like a colleague. We need to see each other as a colleague, respect one another. Let other people, let us be leader, let us be follower at the same time. But by the time it's only one person who's a leader, in a place where there's a collection of leaders, then there's going to be a chaos. We are not going to get anywhere. Collegial leadership, I believe that's the only way. Even when we look at the South Africa here, look at Jacob Zuma, although there's a fallout, all of them, they see each other as a colleague. They protect each other. They protect each other's interests. They provide for one another. So that's how it's supposed to be. The good thing is that, look, we are talking about self-determination.
Network. Oh, we'll come back. But this is, I hope you're enjoying this. Please do share this broadcast. It's nuggets of information. Please, he'll be back. Just wait. It's a network issue. But do bear with us. You're watching the platform will speak to power. Are you back now? Are you back? Wait, it's slowed down, but carry on. We know it's a network. Can you hello? Can you see? Can we see you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right. Like I was saying, I mean, you need to look at the second principle of Kwanzaa. I mean, the second principle is that the Kujishagulia. We must be able to define ourselves. We have defined ourselves. We must be able to speak for ourselves. We are speaking for ourselves now. We name ourselves. But what is left right now is to create something for that Oduduwa nation, for the benefit of incoming generation, and for posterity. And what's more important is that we need to have ethical people with integrity. Whatever anybody has an ambition, let's put by the side. Let's put our tails between our legs. Let's listen to one another. Let's work together. Let's provide collegial leadership. Thank you, Citizen AY.
Wow. A lot of people are giving you kudos, sir. This is give great kudos to Sir Shino. That look, honestly, no, I kid you not. What you're saying here is for the ears of each and every organization that is running. If you're running anything, we have to go collegiate. And I like the rotational idea that you said there. So whoever is running a particular event, they run that, they put everything up, and then they haven't on to the next. Because that way, we all feel and get a sense of equality. And it doesn't diminish, the beauty of that, it doesn't diminish that we still see Professor Banji Akintoye as the leader. It doesn't. In fact,
it doesn't.
It allows the organization that he may run to, again, partake in it. But when he then speaks for all of us, when we achieve that, then that is the case. And that means that all of the organizations will have proper representation. And I think this is something that we'll probably have to have more discussions about to see how we can approach all of the other organizations and not say, look, we're not saying this for you to come and, we call it, like you said, call a meeting and everybody else has to come. It has to be rotational. The responsibility has to be given out to each of the people, organizations, so that they can run it and feel involved in that process. And I think that is really key. I think it's I don't know what else would you. I don't know where else to go now. I've got some other things to I wanted to ask you. Let me just see. The virtual university you talked about there.
Yes.
I wonder if you could just give us an idea. So that would be is that for medical students now, or is it just for or is it to do with STEM?
All disciplines, STEM particularly, because STEM, the basic, the foundation or development of any nation is STEM. It's after that we are going to spread, but you need other discipline because we say you develop a technology, you must be able to market it.
Exactly.
So that's where the business department have to be. So, but the heart of the academy is the STEM academy. Okay. Is the STEM. STEM is what is all about.
Okay.
The other one just are peripheral. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Now, in terms of where we are going now, we obviously planning. It's a nation that we're trying to go for, but one of the really central part of it now is the issue of convincing our people that right now they're talking about 2023 elections. But how do we convince our people, Oduduwa people, to focus on self-determination as their main goal rather than 2023? I wonder how we could. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I've thought about this several times, and most of the time when I think about the plight of our people at home, I get very, very disturbed. Why am I disturbed is that, you see, there's so much hunger in our land. There's so much level of poverty. And yourself too, citizen, if nobody calls you from Oduduwa land for 1 month asking you for money, you start getting worried.
Yes.
Yes. So now what has happened is that my life is such that I'm a very realistic person, having a realistic approach to everything. And why I'm like that is that, of course, as a physician, the way we are is such that you need to investigate. After you investigate, then you're able to provide a solution to the problem. I mean, as it is right now, you see, it's like what the president of Russia, Stalin, what he described one time. He said he took a chicken, he plucked out all the hair. And after that, I mean, just imagine the pain that chicken has to go through. And after that, he now put maize on the floor. And that chicken was actually eating it. Wow. That is what our people are actually facing right now. So yes, that's how bad it is. Any little things, they will grab it. Any politician go to them, whatever they give them, they are too happy. So now the issue is that until you eradicate that so much of that poverty, it's going to be actually very difficult to convince our people. Yeah, we have to be honest and be realistic now.
Good.
But having said that, what we can also do is that we should, if the people who are going to do this job mostly are the intellectual, the real educated people, the elites. Now, we need to go back. Let's go back to, I always make reference to Papa.
Yes.
What was accomplished from about 1952 or so till they handed over power.
Yeah.
I mean, what they accomplished that short period of time.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So we need to tell them, let people realize. Maybe we need to print a lot of pamphlets. List all those the accomplishments, what they achieved during that period, and let them people realize that look, if we get Oduduwa Nation, you only have to suffer for another few years.
Exactly.
In 4 years' time, things will be great. Things will be okay. Our forefather has done it before. We don't need to tell you. All the Oduduwa group of companies, which was destroyed by the military junta.
Yeah.
It was done deliberately by the Fulanis.
Yes.
So that we don't have the fund, because Papa and his colleagues, they formed Oduduwa group of companies as a foundation for development of Oduduwa land.
Thank you.
So these are the things, those are the conversations we should be having. And that's because all of us in diaspora, we have people at home, of course. There's nobody who doesn't have immediate family.
Exactly.
We need to start talking to our family one by one, by educating them. that this election is not the solution to their problem. It's Oduduwa land. Because when you get Oduduwa land, all those things that Papawo and they have blueprint already. Because if you look at that blueprint, you can actually stay in Ogutukupa and work in Lagos.
Yes.
See, so all those blueprints, all those things will be implemented, and the life will be better for their children. And that's why I'm talking about virtual university.
Yeah.
If we create virtual university, if me and you trust one another, we can actually
a network. Oh, network. We're going to be wrapping up in about an hour, about a few minutes, but this is so important, and I'm so glad that you're here. Do stay with us, bear with us.
The school fees of those children for those virtual university will be highly subsidized.
Exactly.
If they are going to even pay at all, because they can sit down in their house with their tablet and receive lecture from Citizen AY from UK. They can receive from my friend in Canada, Adewuyi, or anybody else from Australia. So it's not a normal class anymore.
No.
That you need a building. No. That's what we have learned from COVID. That we
exactly.
Are a university.
Indeed.
That's the beauty of COVID itself.
Indeed.
We can run virtual university successfully. Because if they ask me to give lecture to my medical student, I'll sit down in my office where I'm sitting right now. I'm going to give them a lecture on choriocarcinoma or cancer of the cervix or abnormal uterine bleeding. I can do that from here.
Wow.
And I'm going to give a very decent lecture. It's not different from me being there physically.
So, fantastic.
So those are the conversations we'll be having. And again, we shouldn't wait until we get to do land. That's what I'm saying. We need to mobilize, our professionals all over the world. Let's start developing our land. Yes, let's get, I'm using medical medicine as an example. For argument's sake, I can leave South Africa today. I want to go and spend a week in University of Lagos to impart the knowledge, to let them see the latest technology in the management of abnormal uterine bleeding, if I have to do that. Or latest management, latest in the management of infertility. We can go and impart that knowledge for 3 days and come back. So that before we build whatever we want to build, the existing institution, we're empowering them.
It's like planting seeds. It's like planting seeds.
That's it. Because somebody like us, we are getting old already. The knowledge we acquire, is it going to die with us? We must transfer that knowledge and the skill back to our community. That's what we should be doing. And that's the conversation we have. In a nutshell, every one of us in diaspora, let's start talking to our people. Let them realize what was accomplished by Bapawo, that those blueprints are still there, what we can still achieve. We need to tell them the story of Chief Lateef Jakonde, what he did in Lagos, the council after in Lagos, all within a period of 4 years. Wow. I got free education in Ogun State. That's why I became a medical doctor, otherwise citizen. I have been a roadside mechanic in Nakpaku, it's on the expressway in Lagos. And likewise, of us who are top class professionals today. We did conversation with our people. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. Honestly, I am really, really grateful for your insightful knowledge in so many different areas and your wealth of experience. You're showing us how to transfer skills from medical doctor to a whole swathe of areas that one would not even necessarily think of. And that's the kind of approach that we need. We need, please, I would honestly, you need to be coming back on this platform and we'll be doing more shows. And I'll be bringing you onto Oduduwa TV radio to speak to us in Yoruba as well. Because we need people to hear what you're saying in our language to reach our people. We need, to be honest, we have to reach people in the grassroots, literally, wake them up. Because I am so, what you're saying now, it fills me with such optimism that I am looking at my fellow Yoruba man, Oduduwa man, and the vision that you're putting forward is a vision that it is achievable, and it relates back to the what our sage Obafemi Awolowo achieved, and it formed the blueprint that Jakonde used in Lagos, and we are going to go back to that same blueprint. So I want to thank you. I wonder if there's anything you wanted to touch on, anything at all in your mind that you wanted to impart or share with the people in terms of this agitation. Oh, one more thing, please. What is your take on ensure on the unity between having a kind of like unity between the Igbos or Biafra and Middle Belt and Yorubas to achieve our common aim. How do you see that playing out?
Well, there's a saying that, look, if you don't know what to do, you go back to history to guide you into future. You see, history is always there to guide you into future. Yes, from what we have seen so far, and from historical perspective, there's no question about that the unity between the two groups is going to be very difficult to be achieved. Because one thing, there's that mutual suspicion between the Igbos and Yoruba. Having said that, we both of us have common problem. The ideal thing is that if me and you have common problem, what makes sense is for us to work together to achieve that common goal, to bury our differences, to forget the past, to say that, look, this problem is the problem of this generation. Our forefathers, they have come, they have gone, everybody has made their own mistake during their time. Yes, they've sorted out some of the problem. Whatever they left behind, it becomes our responsibility. And it all makes sense to be having conversation with our Igbo brothers or anybody else within Nigeria. The people in the Niger Delta, the people in Middle Belt. We must not say we want to work in isolation. Because if we want to work in isolation, let's go back to what happened between 1966. Again, Papa will say, against a better judgment, Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu shouldn't have declared Biafran war at that time. Now, what happened is that, and again, if you go back to the historic perspective of what happened at that stage, it was a noble thing that Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu, for him to declare the Biafran war, you cannot blame him for it, because he needs to protect his people were slaughtered, and look, at that point in time, I don't see, as far as I'm concerned, I cannot blame him for anything. So my take on this one is that let's reach out to our Igbo's brother. Let's build bridges. Don't let's burn bridges. Let's look at what they want. Because I have a philosophy, Citizen AY. If I give you what you want, you should be able to give me what I want. See, let's extend that olive hand. Let's extend our hands there. Let's see which area we can work together. But as far as I'm concerned, the issue of Oduduwa Republic, I don't believe we need to go the route of war. You don't want to bring war to your land. We see what is happening in Ukraine.
Yes.
War brings a whole lot of things. Infrastructure will be destroyed. You don't want an engineer. You don't want an engineer to carry AK-47 to start fighting Fulani herdsmen. Wow. It's a lot of money you're investing to an engineer. You're investing to an accountant. Yeah. Or somebody who's a journalist. You have a lot of money, you spend a lot of money to develop those people. Let's see how we can work with everybody who believe in their right to self-determination. Yes, the mutual suspicion is there. History is there that, look, most of the time we want to work together, it doesn't work out. But still, we can try. Who knows? Maybe this generation is better than the previous generation. Maybe this generation is feeling the pinch, the need for them to liberate their own land as well. Let's see whether we can work together to achieve our common goal. That's the way I see it. I don't see anybody as anything, but for me, somebody can work with me to achieve whatever I want to achieve. I'm prepared to work for that person. That is where I stand.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, we've covered quite a lot of ground in a short space of time. And there will be, please, I urge you, please leave time in your diary. You're coming back. I would love you to come back, because you've given us quite a lot of information that many can chew on. I think at this point, we'd like to say we'll stop here for now, but I want to thank you for taking the time to come on to Citizen, the platform where we speak truth to power. And the vision that you put forward is really something that many of us can relate to and see. We can almost feel it. We can touch it. And we want to feel more of that. So we'd like you to come back on the show. But I was there for me to say thank you so much for what you said today, for coming on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, for also relating, bringing in many of the stories that we didn't even know before. The story of Bashorun Odun
Oderilo.
Yes, Pastor. Yes, Bashon Oderilo, and of course the sage. Those stories are stories which we need to look into. And I want somebody. I want illustrators to really paint that for our kids, because kids, they feed off those kind of things. When you tell them those kind of stories, it fires their imagination. And you never know how we can actually get them to. We need our youths to be part of this struggle. So I thank you so much for your knowledge, for your vision, for the work that you're doing, and for the plans that you have. And I only hope that many other professionals will have the same vision as you have. And indeed, we need to work together. And the solutions you have in terms of these competing organizations, this is collegiate mindset. It's a brilliant idea, something I buy into. And I will want to work out with yourself how we can bring that to make it really have a positive impact on the Oduduwa Nation that we are going for. So what left for me to say now is to say thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. I'm a fellow Egba man like yourself, so I am even more prouder. I couldn't be more prouder that my Egba brother, my Egba senior brother, is come up with visions that many of us believe in. So I want to thank you. Thank you. So I will say thank you so much. We will let you go now. Thank you for the time you're giving us on the show, and we will love to bring you back. But thank you to also my guests, those who have been watching on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. This will be shared on YouTube and on Instagram and all other platforms. But what's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. One more thing before I go. I'd like you to go ahead, subscribe to us on YouTube. Here's what you need to do. Just go subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Give us the thumbs up. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. And I will send you this link for this show as well afterwards, so you can also share it as well. And, this interview, it's a great interview. There's a wealth of information in it. And I would urge everybody watching it, don't just watch, share. There's a wealth of information. There are things that are very balanced argument. Very, very, very visionary in thinking, and we need more of this from many more people. We would like to interview anybody else that would have ideas for us to achieve our goal of Oduduwa Nation. We are all part of the struggle. We are all leaders in this struggle. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Citizen. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye now. So I'll stop the video and I will mute you at this end. So now I'm going to just do this. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Dr. OKANLOMO. I was not expecting the amount of amazing information and suggestions and possible solutions to the problems that we face in our land, and how we can solve it and how we can achieve Oduduwa Nation. But I was pleasantly surprised. He'll be back with us again. But I want to just take this opportunity to thank you. I know the hour went very quick, but he will be back again. And we'll be looking at the health side of things, because he's a health professional, a doctor, and his wealth of knowledge and experience is something invaluable that we have to tap into. So I want to thank you all so much for watching us. You're, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we aim to do on this platform is to impart knowledge to you, to be able to make informed decisions that would impact not only your lives, but those of your coming generation. So what we're saying now is, let us join hands together to achieve the common goal. Yoruba Nation now, Biafra Nation now, Middle Belt Nation now. Together, we can work together and achieve this. And not necessarily resorting to military means, but not ruling that out either. But we're saying our focus is we can do this together. And we emphasize the need for us to start off having vigilante groups, and passing this information down into the villages, into towns, into hamlets, to make sure that people can protect themselves. In our land, without having that protection, we cannot hope to carry out a referendum. So the vigilante is of immense importance, like he said. Once again, I thank you all for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Well, I'll be back later on, and I will try and give you some more information. One more thing I'd like to say. I want to once more thank each and every one of you that are subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube. We are over 2,000 subscribers now. I thank you all so much. Thank you. We couldn't have done it without your support. Please continue to subscribe, share it with family and friends. Help us grow the platform. And of course, I'll be back later on. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please share, share, and share. And I'll be back later on. Thank you and goodbye. Bye for now.